Hello, welcome back everyone. Liquorhound here with you. Thank you for joining me once again for another Spirit Review video. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Old Forester Birthday Bourbon from 2018. Now, the one thing to note about Old Forester is that it is released every year. And while it is a fairly allocated bourbon, is it something that you need to really kind of go out and really search for? Well, we're going to talk about that here in a second. Now, the Old Forester Birthday Bourbon comes out every year bottled with an age statement of 12 years of age. Comes out bottled at 101 proof, retail price $101.25. As to what goes into it, it is the older stocks from Old Forester, so it's probably using their mash bill of 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. They do batches, so it's not like a single barrel element or anything like that. There are a lot of barrels getting blended together to create this one release every year that comes out in the fall. This year's release, they talked about there was like 14,400 bottles released. So it's not like a super small release. You know, sometimes those Buffalo Trace Antique collections, when they're releasing like the Sazerac 18s nowadays or the Eagle Rare 17s, those have been very, very small, like in the few thousand range. To get over 10,000, it's a lot of bottles to go around. That's why I've heard of people actually seeing these on shelves, and they're not all 100% allocated like the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection tends to be. All right. Now, as far as is it worth picking up every year? They vary every year. That's the problem I find with these. I've tasted, these throughout the years. The ones that jump to mind as being, I would say, above average and below average. 2012 was below average. If I had to go back and I saw that bottle on the shelf and I knew what it was, I would not buy that bottle. The 2015, I believe it was 2015, that was above average. That one, no problem. I'll buy it. Spend $100 on that bottle. Great. This 2018, we're about to find out. But from the color of it, I will say it's got a really nice solid color. Good reddish amber, hue to it. On the nose, lots of red fruits, lots of mixed berries here, cherries, a little bit of strawberry essence going on, but it is just mixed berries. Vanilla underneath. Matter of fact, this is starting to get into that, there's a little zone that I find every now and then where it kind of takes me back to childhood and the smell of Play-Doh. And this one gives me a little bit of that on the nose. So if you remember what Play-Doh smells like, this one has a little bit of that essence to it. But a good amount of cinnamon, good amount of oak, a little citrus, some cocoa chocolatey tone as well, and leather. It doesn't really smell overly sweet. As a matter of fact, the most dominant notes in here are the red berries, the oak, and the cinnamon. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to the taste. That's the first sip. Okay. Okay. It's about a medium viscosity. Lots of red fruit, just like it knows, kind of come on right up front. The vanilla underneath. Wow. The cinnamon oak almost seemed like, to me, they rushed the gun a little bit, because whereas, I kind of usually expect the cinnamon to kind of start swelling up on the mid palate, and then hopefully the oak will kind of join in about the top of that and maybe into the back end of that. Here it almost seems like as soon as you get to that brown sugar, that rich red berry cherry kind of element right up front, you're almost immediately joined by that cinnamon and the oak. And they start just kind of swelling on that mid palate, along with a little white pepper. It is a little spicier. Yeah, it's a little spicier than I expected. And those kind of swell up on that mid palate, gets very warming. And then on the back end, when it starts dropping off and you start losing a little bit of the red fruits, then you start noticing the dark chocolate element. You start noticing the leather coming in as well on the very, very back end. But right up front, when you get those red berries, it's pretty complicated because everything kind of rushes the front. Yeah, red berries, little vanilla, brown sugar. Wow, right away here comes the cinnamon. Yeah, I would say white pepper, oak kind of rising up. It's hard to even pick up the citrus, but there is a little citrus element in there as well. And then as it starts to reseed, that's when you can start focusing, boy, and then right then you start noticing the cocoa powder. The oak is still being a lot of oak resin going on. And then the leather and the little, like the citrus that you kind of picked up early, you can focus on it a little more on the back end. And it is a little bit of like a citrus zest sprinkled up on top. Overall, it's a very nice bourbon. Is it worth $100? Yeah, sure. I'd probably spend $100 on that bottle. I did. But if I could get another at that price point, I might. It's not something I'd want to drink all the time. It is kind of heavy and a little out of balance to me. You know, would I ever pay secondary pricing on it, which is $300, $350? No, I would definitely not pay that for this bottle. I would be more inclined to spend that money on their Whiskey Row series like the 1920 or the 1910. I'd rather have multiples of those than that one bottle of this at that price point. But anyway, if you see it out there at cost, it's probably a pretty safe pickup, all right? I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank y'all for watching. Keep leaving all those great comments. Of course, you can always catch me at Facebook and Twitter at Liquorhound, or on Instagram at The Liquorhound. And of course, don't forget to visit me at Patreon because I'm doing a lot of these videos there. So everybody, have a great day, and cheers.